This is the DEWENWILS wireless motion sensor outlet. Let's take it out of the box. In the box you get the instruction manual. They give you a little bag here which includes the mounting bracket, a couple screws and wall anchors, the motion sensor part of it, and the outlet part of it. In a nutshell, this is a motion sensor just like you've seen on lights walking past people's driveways or anything like that. And then they have like a light there that turns on, something like that. Except instead of a light, you got an outlet. You can plug anything you want into that. And I mean anything, because this will switch and handle the full 15 amps, 1875 watts at 120 volts. So you can have it turn anything on. We're going to do a light because that's kind of really what it's meant for. But anyway, this transmits to this wirelessly. You have to put batteries in here. I'll show you that a little bit later. That's the long and short of it, okay? It's a motion sensor controlling an outlet, and the communication between them is wireless. This obviously plugs in to give it power, and you plug whatever you want to have power in there. So let's talk a bit about the specs on here. You can adjust the sensitivity on here, the detection range, up to 50 feet. You have 100-foot wireless transmission, so these two pieces can be 100 feet apart and it'll still get the signal. 240-degree sensing angle, 240 degrees around like that, and you can adjust it 160 degrees up and down and 180 degrees back and forth horizontally like that. This, because it's going to be outside for the most part, is IP65 waterproof. Rain, sleet, snow, not a problem for it. No problem at all. This piece, however, is IP44 rated. That means it's splash proof. If it gets drizzled on, it's okay. If it's a little downpour, it's fine, something like that. But you don't want it somewhere where water is going to build up and submerge this thing or anything like that. So it's meant for outdoor use. You have a number of different modes here. You have PIR motion detection, there's nighttime mode, dusk-to-dawn, and random. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. You can adjust the turn-off time. In other words, this senses motion, turns the outlet on, and then that's going to stay on after it doesn't sense motion anymore for a short period of time, just like those lights you see when you walk past people's driveways. How long? You can adjust that from 10 seconds to 30 minutes. Now, let's take a closer look. For mounting, it's really easy. Here's the mounting bracket for it, like that. You mount it up with the screws, and then it hangs in it just like that. So here it is on the wall of the building or whatever it is. It slides in, and it stays. And there it is right there. You got to put batteries in here. That's in here. So just turn that, and then you got to pull it and not drop it on the floor. 3 AAA batteries go in there, so I'll get batteries in here now. Here is the underside of the sensor, and you can adjust all the stuff here. We're going to make these two real easy for you. Okay, this is your sensitivity, runs from minimum on up to maximum. You just turn the dial like an old school volume control. Same thing over here, that's the time, running from 10 seconds all the way up to 30 minutes. Now over here you have all these names, MAT, RND, D2D, DTD, NTM, PIR. What does any of that mean? Well, good thing is it's all printed right here. You can kind of sort of sound it out. So MAT is match mode, and that's just basically going to match this up with the outlet that we're going to see in a little bit there. Random will randomly turn lights on and off, or the outlet I should say, whatever you have plugged into it, on and off, just at random times, just to make it look like somebody's at home, something like that. DTD is dusk to dawn, just like it says right there. And in that mode, it's going to ignore any kind of motion sensing. It's just going on, is it dark or is it light out? Because when it's dark, you might need a light, so it'll turn it on. When it's light out, you don't need a light, so it turns it off. And then you have PIR, which is the motion detection mode. And when you have it set to that, you think that's the one that you want. Problem is with that, on the PIR, if you have a light plugged into it, it does not sense day and night. So that means that whenever it senses motion, whether it's light out or it's dark out, it's going to turn the outlet on for whatever time you set. However, in NTM, which is probably where you're going to leave it, nighttime mode, it won't sense anything during the day. But once it gets dark out, then it's going to start sensing, and when it sees something here, it's going to turn the outlet on for the prescribed time. Okay, here is the janky setup just for now, to just kind of give you an idea how it works. I have a small red bulb in there. First of all, the outlet has a button on it. You can press that and turn it on and turn it off all day long at no extra charge. What's really nice, there's a little light there that'll tell you, yes, the outlet is on, so whatever you have plugged in there should be receiving power. And turn that back off. We're going to start over at the mat position for match. So if we turn it there and wait a second, it should transmit to that and turn it on and then turn it off and turn it on and turn it off. And it's going to do that 5, 6, 7 times, and this is just to ensure that this is talking to that. Okay, so that's what the match mode actually does. It's just for setup purposes. So really what we're interested in at this point is probably going to be the NTM, nighttime mode. So we'll move it over to nighttime mode right over there, and I will set this to 10 seconds, and sensitivity I'll kind of leave right there. So we'll do that. I'm going to turn the lights off, and then I will walk by and see if it senses me. In fact, I'll move that here, and we'll move that there. So this way it has a better chance of seeing me right there, and we'll see if it turns on by itself. Okay, it's on. I'm going to leave the room. 10 seconds later it should go out, and then I'll walk back in and it should turn back on. And coming back, there it is. Took just a moment, but it did detect. There is a blue light in here and also a red light. The blue light is when motion is detected, and it will continually flash the blue when the batteries are low to alert you. When there's a red flash is when it sends a signal to the outlet to turn off. So if I leave that there, there should be a red flash from that in about 10 seconds. And as you see, indeed it did. There was a blue and a red flash. Blue detected motion, red sent the message to turn on. Pretty nifty. So yeah, you could turn that up and down like that, all the way that way in fact, and side to side, so you can get the very best position to sense the motion that you need to sense. So with that, we're going to come back after dark, and I'm going to show you a use case where this might actually be useful to you. So you can see it's nighttime now, and what I have here is the little walkway that goes to the backyard. Over here you can see the light from the house right where it cuts off from the front of the house, and the rest is just whatever, but you can't see where you're walking or anything like that. But I got these pathway lights here, and they light up the way real nice. Now, wouldn't it be nice if I don't have to burn the electricity to run these all night long, and I can have them automatically kick on when I go and actually walk by? Well, you can with the DEWENWILS wireless motion sensor outlet. Let me show you. Do you see it? Now you do. It's mounted right on the fence. It's mounted right over there. Right there. So now it can sense motion, and you can see the blue light comes on whenever it does. So let's test it out. Boy, it's real dark here. There we go. Nice. Now I can see where I'm going. And I have this set so after 10 seconds, they will automatically turn off. And there you go. Pretty nice. It'll kick back on in a second here as soon as it senses me. There we go. Right back on. And now I can see. And I don't have to burn all of that electricity, which, as you know, is only getting more and more and more expensive pretty much by the minute. So once again, this was the DEWENWILS wireless motion sensor control outlet. If you'd like to purchase this item, I'll leave a link in the video description where you can find the item available for sale on Amazon. Thanks for watching. Make sure you click like, make sure you click subscribe, and take care. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.